Good morning. It is Monday, September the 14th, 2020, 9 o'clock in the morning, and the Kerr County Commissioners Court is now in session. If you would, please stand and join me for the prayer and pledge. Good and gracious God, we invite you to fill our hearts as we gather here today to serve you and your people. We give you thanks for all of the many blessings that you've bestowed on all of us. We especially give you thanks for the recent rains and hopefully for rains to come. We ask that you bless our first responders and those locally and abroad. And we ask that you grant us wisdom to make wise and compassionate decisions for your people. We ask all of this in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen.
Join me in the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Be seated. Remind everybody that if you want to call in, you notice I have my mask in my hand and not on my face today, which I think is the first time since we started this. And that's because we're going to hear a report today in just a minute from Doug Thomas. I think we're doing better. We're talking about whether to go ahead and file the exemption to not have to wear the mask. But with that, I want to remind anyone that would like to call in. The number is 830-792-6161, and the phone is here at the bench, and we'll answer it here. The next part of the meeting is what we do every time, and that is invite public input. And the public input that we seek is for items that are not on the agenda. If it is on the agenda, we ask that you wait and address us at the time that that item is called. So I ask at this time, is there anybody that would like to address the court? Okay, and with that, we'll go to Commissioner's comments. And we usually start with Precinct 1, but I'm going to skip around today just to give it a little variety. Let's go to Precinct 3. You never go first.
Never go first. Good rains, about 3 to 4 inches generally in the precinct. Burn ban's been lifted. Other than that, everything's good.
Good. Good news. 2.
Well, let's see, a couple things regarding quarries and quarry operations along the river. Wheatcraft had there was a TCEQ public meeting the other day with Wheatcraft had an application, and it was approved for changing the withdrawal spots along the river for their mining operation, changing from agriculture to mining. And some people were upset because the procedures TCEQ had. But anyway, it was approved, which made some people unhappy. The other thing is there's a potential new mining operation, gravel mining operation, just across from the airport, a little bit closer to the current, the old Martin Marietta facility, but a little bit west of the RV park. So anyway, it's not there, but Charlie Hastings got a meeting with them on permit, floodplain permits later this week, or today, as a matter of fact. So anyway, those are what's happening in Precinct 2.
Good. 4.
Finally got enough rain. Not enough, but we go get some more, but enough to lift the burn bans and what have you. One thing that I've brought up a time or two before is to encourage everybody to do their census. And there's a report came out that do a census every 10 years, and for every one that we do, it means $13,500 over that 10-year span back to the community. So that's important to get done. Another thing, we talked about the hazardous waste collection next Saturday, and there'll be some press releases in the papers this week that'll detail exactly what can and cannot be dropped off and the details on it. But anyway, it will be from 8 to noon next Saturday morning at the Hill Country Youth Exhibit Center.
I thought it was 8 to 5. It's 8 to noon?
8 to noon.
Yeah, we clarified that last week.
Yeah, several times. That's why I brought it up again. So anyway, that's it.
Is there a good question? Kind of probably hold it the other way.
That's a secret.
Y'all can't see him, we can.
if you're in line by a certain point, I mean, how are they going to shut it off at 12? And the reason I'm bringing this up, I recall a lot of people several weeks ago being very upset in Bernie because they didn't care if you were in line or not. At 12 o'clock, they shut the door.
Yeah.
And maybe this is, I don't know, it's in connection with ACOG and how it's run, but how is it going to be operated?
That's a good question. This is my first go-round with this. Is Reagan standing out there?
No.
He's
No,
been involved
I
in-
don't
well,
know.
Jody.
I've worked it every year, and we've never needed to shut it down. It's
Yeah.
always been done before.
Okay.
We've never had a line there.
That's a good question, though.
Yeah. There'll be one entrance in the front, probably the second entrance from Kerrville to enter, and then they'll put them in different lines and what have you.
Okay. Thank you.
Good. Precinct 1.
Well, County Attorney.
My question would be, why does it have to stop at noon? Why does it,
Well,
whoever decided that in the first place? Was it because of,
We
And then-
really, and I think I've done the last 4 or 5 years.
yeah,
Again, we've never had, it is crazy busy at the beginning.
it fizzles
Kind of
out?
lows off, comes back up, but we've never had to say, we're done, it's over.
Right.
I think if it went 8 to 5, there'd be a lot of downtime, a lot.
People have been scoring for a long time on
Sure.
this one, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of, that we missed a year. Precinct 1, we had a really good turnout, courthouse lawn here. I'm not sure exactly if I was standing in precinct 1 at any point, but I was here in precinct 1 for part of it. And so that was the
podium was in precinct 1.
podium was in precinct 1, and I walked around the grounds and got into precinct 2 a little bit at some point, I think. So 3, I mean. So see, it's confusing. You go downstairs, you go upstairs, you go across the hall. It was a good turnout. It was.
Tell them what it was.
It was the Celebrate America. We've seen a lot of stuff in the news lately. We see riots, we see people burning flags, we see a lot of bad stuff. In Kirk County, we don't do that. We celebrate our country. We back our law enforcement, and that was what it was about. To hear people singing "God Bless America" and meaning it, it was really nice. And most of the people that couldn't, that were on the road, honking their horns, waving their flags, yelling, thumbs up. So that was nice. And,
all positive.
yeah, it was all positive. Well, there was one lady that got a little offensive, but I just read louder during the Declaration of Independence. That's all.
There's always one.
Yeah. And that's about it. That's all. It was a good event, and that's what Kirk County is all about.
Good. Good. Let's go to the consideration agenda, item 1.1. We don't do these regularly like we used to, but we do them regularly, just not as frequently. That's to consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding the update, facility use, and other matters related to COVID-19. Doug Thomas, our Emergency Management Coordinator.
Morning, Judge. Morning, Commissioners. These are the numbers that we had for Kirk County as of Friday. DSHS, if you remember, does not update anything over the weekend, so the next update from DSHS and from Peterson will be this afternoon. As of Friday, total tested by PR Peterson Regional was 5,451. Texas Military Forces testing, the mobile testing we did was 812, nursing home 675. Curative test, 948 for a total testing of 7,886, and as of Friday, we had 458 total COVID positive cases and 0 individuals in the hospital.
And but to get the numbers, let's look at the numbers again closely, because I've been studying them week after week. We've had almost 8,000 tested, just a hair over 450 positive cases cumulatively.
Correct?
We have 0 in the hospital.
Yes, sir.
We have 0 new cases.
0 new cases.
And we have 8 active cases that we're trying to wrap up.
Yes, sir. So for the active and recovered, total active cases as of Friday was 8. Total recovered was 449, and our total number of fatalities was 9.
Doug, let me comment on that one. That's 9 total in the county.
Correct.
So that's equivalent to 18 per 100,000 in the county. Okay. And in the country, it's like 60 per 100,000. So that's another good indication for Kirk County.
Well, and I would also share that we have to remember our demographics. We still are a retirement community. And we have a large segment of our population that are part of the vulnerable class for COVID-19. And we've done remarkably well to have as few fatalities as we've had from elderly with underlying diseases. This has been remarkably well managed. Congratulations to you, Doug. You've done a really
Thank
great
you,
job.
sir. I appreciate it.
Have
Not
any of
just me,
those,
but it's
have
also.
any of those passed away in Kirk County, or have they passed away outside of Kirk County?
I have no,
They don't tell
I
us.
can't find out that information anymore. All that, DSHS takes all of their fatality information, it goes straight to DSHS
I
headquarters.
got you.
None
Okay.
of it to Region 8, they're all by death certificates now, so.
Okay, thanks.
Judge, I know that you visit with the Shoehart frequently. Medina County's number of fatalities has really skyrocketed. Do you know the reason?
It could be from the prison out there.
I think their numbers they're taken out of that, I thought. But anyway,
Were they?
they're
I think they are. They kept separately.
separately. And it was just curious, it was that they were kind of slightly ahead of us for a long time, and all of a sudden they jumped pretty far ahead on the number of fatalities and cases.
And it's the
They could probably.
it's diseases, especially like diabetes, under these underlying diseases, that really triggered that spike these fatality rates, and the lack of social distancing.
Right.
We kind of go off of what Commissioner Letts was talking about. Kendall County, Friday was at 240 total with 3 fatalities. Medina County, 1,053 with 27. Gillespie, 216 with 2 fatalities. Bandera, 119 with 3. Kimball, 13. No fatalities. And Real County, 106 with 1 fatality. I think at this point, Kirk County, since at a high point, we probably had well over 150 positive COVID cases at one time, and there's been a downward trend ever since probably the middle of July. Probably closer to the end of July. As of August the 14th, Kirk County dropped below the magic number of 20 and went to 19 active cases. September 2nd, we were at 10. September the 4th, 6. And September the 8th was 5. The threshold for the governor for the attestation for us to be exempted from the mask mandate is 20 active cases. And since August the 14th, it's been 1 month today.
Yes.
I think we've had a sustained reduction in cases. I think it's been reduced long enough, and we've sustained it long enough that I think we should ask for that attestation.
I agree, especially with our schools opening back up and everything else, that kind of crossed our fingers that we wouldn't have a spike, and that hadn't come to pass, so we're going along the right path.
Some of the arguments that I hear is, that we're leveled out, okay, keeping it low, but it's getting ready to get cooler. Some of the doctors say the chances of it increasing in cooler weather corresponds. Those two things are linked, and so if it's working, if we're keeping it that level and we're wearing masks now, why stop it when the potential environment could get worse?
I just don't think the mandate is necessary anymore. At this point, I think it needs to be either employer or business. It needs to be their
call.
Their call.
Yeah.
And as far as the public, it needs to be their call as well. If they're uncomfortable going into an establishment without wearing a mask, by all means, put it on.
That's what I've been saying all along. Everybody be responsible for themselves. These businesses will accommodate people whether they don't want to wear a mask or if they do want to wear a mask, either way.
But I do agree that at some point there is a risk, since the colder weather's coming along, the flu season's about to kick in. But we vaccinated 1,016 people over last Wednesday at the flu clinic.
By the way, did any of them coming in, I know they had to have their temperature taken, any of them test positive as they came in?
Nobody was excluded. Nobody was running a temperature. Everybody came through, got to get their shot.
Well, just to supplement what Doug's saying, I've had people contacting me for the past month. I'd say probably about 4. There's a couple that are persistent, Not daily necessarily, but persistent.
Actually, no one.
Pleasantly
As a
persistent.
matter of fact.
And I've told them, I wanted to see how we did getting kids back into school. We've seen that. Done better than I thought we would. I'm pleased. And we've just finished the Labor Day weekend. We seem to have spikes around holidays. I've noticed that through the summer. We had that back in June. We had it in July. And we're not quite 10 days past Labor Day, but we're getting close. And so in terms of do we need to have a mandatory mask order in effect? The governor issued the order. We didn't.
Right. And he set the guidelines, which we didn't.
He did.
That's the 20, the magic number.
And so at this point, one of them keeps telling me, no, you're running out of excuses. Well, maybe I'm running out of excuses, but the people that I've been listening to have been our stakeholders with the emergency management, and of course I keep in regular contact with Dub. And our biggest concern was not so much we know flu season's coming, and we don't know what that's going to look like. We don't know if that's going to be worse than COVID, quite frankly. But if we were to have a flare-up, if we were to blow up again, the concern was, what would it take to be able to get the mask order back in effect? And that was one of the concerns that we had, is rather be safe than sorry, and we've been patient. And so really what we're looking for right now is input from the court and from the public, as is it time for us to seriously consider filing this application for an exemption?
I
We
think it's
qualify
already
for it.
been over and we didn't know it. If 20 is the magic number, as Doug pointed out.
That's the
It's
number the
already
governor
over.
said.
Yeah. So it's, people just didn't
And it's
know it.
not like we just got to 19 or 18, I mean,
No, we've been here a month.
yes.
Yeah.
So,
And I think the other thing, pardon me for butting in, but I think the other thing we need to take a look at is Peterson is averaging probably 60 tests a day that they're running, and we're getting like 2 positives a day. One, we've had a couple of days where there's been 0. I think the biggest day we had was 5.
Still about 6%, about 6% of what's tested is positive.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or lower.
Yeah, but I'm just looking at the number, ballpark, that's what it is today.
But they've all basically recovered,
Right.
except for the elderly with underlying diseases.
So going back to, I think it was Commissioner Harris that said, businesses are going to decide what their or Dub said, businesses will decide what their policy is. We need to decide what this courthouse policy is. And I think we should dispense with the mask.
Well, and I would make a distinction there. A courthouse policy is not necessarily a countywide policy. I'm talking about filing for the countywide exemption.
That's why I said what I did about businesses. We start here, we can do it countywide, but, it's time to stop it here in the rest of the county. Wherever we have
I think
any,
the elected officials can require it in their office if they choose.
they can.
We can
just
only,
like the
But he
businesses.
was talking about courthouse.
I know,
Courthouse wide.
I don't think we have the authority to tell the elected officials how to run their offices.
Right.
You're right.
I think we can do the common area in the courthouse,
Right.
I agree.
but that's just my thought. I mean,
There's-
So
I
how is this going to affect the schools is what I want to know.
You want to say something?
I don't think it
I would
will.
think it's
It
like
won't
the
affect the
business,
school.
they set their own policy.
The schools will remain the same. Yeah. So
Maybe
it doesn't
part of the
affect
rule.
everything
I don't
anyway.
know if she filled out a thing to speak or not, but she's standing in the door.
Right.
No, she's not on the list, but she
Well,
can be.
she's on procedural 1.2, 1.2.
Okay.
Whichever one you want to put her on. It's kind of.
Judge, she wanted to do 1.1, but she thought it may have been 1.2.
Okay.
So she just filled it out.
Oh. Ms. Newell, would you like to address the court? Now, don't leave, Dub.
Well, I'm not. I'm just letting her have the podium.
Thank you. I looked at the second page. It started at 9 a.m. and the first item was 1.2, and that's what I put down. But anyway, it's here. Your Honor, Commissioners, thank you for giving me a moment. I have written you.
Give
I
us
was
your
not
name.
one of those.
Barb, give us
Oh,
your
sorry.
name.
Barbara Duell, 2919 Dry Hollow Drive, Kerrville, Texas. Thank you for giving me a moment. I'm just here to encourage you to petition the governor for the exemption for the masks. I think our numbers look great. I think the county's done a wonderful job on helping control things. I do think it's time now to let our businesses get back to business. It's time to let Texas be Texas and move forward. in consideration of all the numbers, which is worth doing, but also you have to consider the economic impact that we're still currently being affected by this mask mandate in a negative way in a lot of businesses. And also, I think you have to consider also the emotional impact of wearing masks, what that does to people, elderly and children, when they see everyone in the store wearing a mask. And it does have an impact on people. And if you haven't felt it yourself, I'd be really surprised. You feel it. I think it's important to move forward from that. And I do think our community is well enough educated now that they can make those choices for themselves, that those who are vulnerable can choose to stay home and let their neighbors help them, which I know is happening all across town. People are willing to go do things for you if you cannot get out, and wear the mask if you need to wear the mask. But for the rest of us, it's time to move on and keep those businesses thriving that we all rely on. We could stay all with masks for a very long time, and when we come out of it, we don't have a town left, and we don't have businesses left to serve our needs. So thank you very much for considering this today, and I do hope you'll move forward with the petition to have the mandate removed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well said.
I think we've reached critical mass. I'm hearing from people that I'm talking, just chit-chatting with, and they all have been bringing this up to me. And I hadn't, without me thinking about it, without us even getting into the topic, it's time. And I think most people are ready for it. And exactly what Ms. Duell just said, we know what the score is now. We know what to do. We know how to avoid one another to feel like they're sick or vulnerable or whatever. So,
I mean, I think I'm in favor of getting rid of it. I don't think it's going to change anything in the public, particularly. I think that I've traveled a lot more than I usually do in the past month. And I can tell you that in a lot of places, I mean, people are very comfortable wearing masks in those places. I was, in Atlanta over the weekend, flew back, and they're a different situation, granted, but people are socially distancing naturally. So I think that there's not the need to wear the mask a lot of times, and people are following kind of the guidance that has been given, requiring it. From the government standpoint, I don't think is needed any longer. I think many businesses are going to continue to do it from a liability standpoint, but the feeling that I get. But that's
a lot of businesses are still closed.
Right.
Well, not a lot.
Right.
Bars, gyms.
Those are businesses.
I understand, but
It was also interesting, I mentioned Atlanta, their gyms were packed, which I was like, I don't know, different states have handled it very, very differently, which is fine. And I think they're leveling off over there too. But I think that, if your people are uncomfortable going to a gym, don't go to the gym. And if the employee's there, but I think it's up to the individuals. And I think that people are much more apt to be socially distanced and try to stay, things are working. So I'm in favor of getting rid of the mandate.
Well, sort of bottom line is, I think we all don't like government control, and this is a government control, and is this control necessary now? And so that's where I come down on it.
well, I don't know what herd immunity looks like, but I think we're getting closer.
Yes.
And my observation is, for example, the Patriot gathering this weekend. There was very little social distancing. There was hardly any mask. I approve all of these COVID-19 safety plans for these gatherings. Nobody follows them. Nothing's being enforced. I'm just being realistic. I'm not being pessimistic about things. I'm just saying this is the way it is. And so I have to ask myself, what do we really need to be doing at this point? I am getting some pressure to file the application for the exemption. And so I'm looking for input from the community as to, is it time to file for that exemption? I'm not particularly, I'm not terrified. There's always a healthy degree of concern that I have that we're going to have a flare-up again. But I think that at this point, if we have a serious flare-up, I think we can go back to these safety measures. I think people have adapted and are willing to cooperate with what needs to be done if we have another emergency. But I'm not sure that we need to continue this.
Barbara Doyle and myself and another 100 people were at an event yesterday. It was outside, but I don't think anybody had a mask on that I saw. So.
And they didn't even ask for a COVID approval for a plant.
No.
So they don't even ask anymore.
I was at the gun show Saturday and Sunday,
Yeah.
and there was a significant number of people not wearing masks, and we were packed in there.
And they didn't even bother to come ask for permission to do it.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Doug. You did a great
Yes, sir.
job.
Thank you all.
Let's move on to item 1.2.
So
Consider
we're
this.
going to do anything?
Yeah, we need to take action.
I think it's the governor, not quite yet. It's the judge's call, not ours.
But is he looking for any support?
I think you heard support.
I think you know where I stand.
Somebody's got her mask off.
Commissioner Letts is right, it's the judge's call.
Huh?
It's the judge's.
Judge's call, okay.
it's the judge's
Well, we're below the threshold,
Yeah.
so it's kind of a de facto
Okay.
thing.
It's not, the judge has to take affirmative.
I have to file an
Yeah.
So
application.
anybody walking around without a mask on after we're below that 20 mark, you're gonna arrest them?
No,
What are you gonna do?
nobody's been
Well, the
arrested
sheriff's told us
now.
what he's going to do.
But the governor's order says that it's the county judge's discretion, once that number is under 20, that he has to file that attestation if that's what he wants to do. And so it sounds like he's listening to y'all, he's listening to the community, and maybe.
Let us know what you do.
So,
There's only two requirements. One, that we be under 20 active cases, and that the county judge attests to that number.
So there's
Yeah.
two requirements.
Yes.
Thank you.
And if it goes over the 20, there are other requirements that, it goes back in place, and you can't request the exemption again for another 3 weeks or 30 days, another particular period of time.
None of which seem to be applicable to us.
so you know what you're gonna do?
Yep, I do. Item 1.2, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding the local state of disaster due to a public health and economic emergency proclamation that I signed on March the 24th and extended on March the 30th until terminated by order of this court. I think this is pretty much the same discussion we just had.
Yep.
Where are we with regard to this disaster declaration?
To me, it should be gone everywhere, but we don't have the power or you don't have the power other than this county. From a standpoint, we've kept it in place because of financial assistance coming from the federal government. And I'm still in favor for that reason. But to me, we're past the time, in my mind, where it should be lifted nationally and it should be lifted statewide.
So my question is, we've already got grant money. Does the grant money go away if this gets dispensed with, or it's already been
That was
sent to
what
us?
our attorney told us, that we need to keep the local in because of the grant funding.
Yeah,
So
but
we
we've already
still
got
have
enough grant
expenditures.
monies to take care of the sheriff's department's $5 an hour and a lot of other things. Do they claw that back, or do we keep it?
Stop the emergency declaration. I
Will
mean,
you
if there's
come up to the
other-
mic so everybody can hear you?
Oh, sorry.
People watching at home.
Yeah, they can't hear you.
So currently, the hazard pay that's being paid, if y'all stop the emergency declaration, that would probably stop that hazard.
No, it would, because we put that in there.
Yeah, so there's other expenditures that are happening right now that we are counting toward that grant. So we do see us exceeding the 20% that we received. So we received about 291,000, and once we start adding everything together, we will be over that amount. So there are other funds that we will be receiving in.
Maybe what we need to do is look to the auditor and the county attorney next week to give us a more thorough.
There you go.
I hate to use the word comprehensive, but just a report as to what terminating this disaster declaration would mean to us.
One thing that we considered in the declaration too was, as we were going in the budget we would not be restricted to the 3.5% if we were an emergency declaration. We don't need to have that. We're not concerned about that in the budget.
That's
So
correct.
that's off the table. So, but there's other things. I think it's a good idea. Let them take a look at it and come back next year.
Probably
Well,
talk to-
we don't need to act precipitously, but at the same time, we really need to act knowledgeably because
Sure.
I think there is an overall public sentiment at this point that we're beyond the original crisis. And that we're in some state of recovery, and it seems to be that we're on the mend.
I think this is local, is more a state than national. It concerns me the precedent that's being set that a lot of powers are different under an emergency, and those powers may or may not be abused. But they're certainly not going through the legislative process on some of these things
Well,
that
that's
have
the
been done.
truth. And I expected them to have done something by now, emergency session or something. They've just sat with their hands in their lap. But one of the concerns that was brought up by you, Judge, was on the hazard pay, was the concern that the federal government will want this money back. So that's all I'm concerned about. I agree with Commissioner Letts. I think we ought to be done with it, but we don't want to have to pay a bunch of money back.
Well, I'm not sure that federal money is tied to the disaster declaration. And that's why I'm asking for clarification.
That's what I'm-
If it is. If it is, we need to know.
Right. Well, that's where the hazard pay came from. You're talking about state funds or
Right.
federal funds?
Well, my concern on the hazard pay was an across-the-board allowance of hazard pay. Same amount for everybody in the department, which is
Which
not
is why
not
we
allowed
did
by
the
the...
inclusive language and so on.
Right. That's why we're doing the individual evaluations, to at least be able to defend what we've done.
Okay, so this shouldn't affect that much.
I don't
But
think
it
so.
might.
I don't know.
But it might.
Well, let's find out.
Okay, another good discussion. Let's move on. We're well past 9:10. Let's go to item 1.3. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding the funding for the Kirk County Historical Commission for FY 2020 to 2021. Mr. Moser.
Thank you, Judge. I put this on the agenda because it appeared that something fell through the crack on our budget, and we didn't receive a written request from Kirk County Historical Commission for their funding, which I think's been in place since 1975. And it appeared to me that we need to take a look at this, and I know that Julie Leonard's here and some of the members of the Board of Historical Commission, and not stepping on Harley's toes, but I don't mind doing that either.
You'll get your turn.
You'll get me back.
Yeah, I'll get you back.
But I'd like to hear the reason why we should include in the budget approximately $4,500 next year's budget for the Kirk County Historical Commission, and let Julie or some of them speak to that if they would briefly.
Good morning. I think I've sent you some emails, but the Kirk County Historical Commission was founded in 1975, which is 45 years ago next month. The judge at that time was Julius Nienhofer. He's the father of one of our present members, Julius Nienhofer. It's always been funded since that time, and we have 60 members that last year contributed 4,000 volunteer hours to the preservation of Kirk County history. And I respectfully ask on their behalf from the board, myself, Charlie McIlvain, Wilma T, Leroy Schlechte, and we respectfully ask that you please fund our commission for next year at the last year's rate of $4,500. Thank you.
Julie, can you tell us some of the stuff that the Historical Commission does?
Do you have about an hour?
Well, I know you come in and you show us when you get awards and stuff, so
Actually,
it's
we
obviously
have,
a good one.
okay, yeah, I'm being flip, obviously. We have 80 historical markers in the county. 2 of them have just been approved. The Live Oak Ranch, which was part of the original YO Ranch. and the Garrett Insurance Agency, which is 101 years old this year. We have other submissions that we're hoping to get this next year. We've got people doing, we've got 120 oral histories that are filed at the History Center that people can go read. We also have that. We have another committee that puts that on the portals to Texas history, so you can read about a lot of the important people that have contributed to Kirk County history. That's done by the University of North Texas, and they're kind of behind because they don't have enough people to transcribe, but I think there are at least 90 on the website. We've got a committee that documents cemeteries. They've spent thousands of hours photographing graves and putting it on Find a Grave website. They're finding unknown cemeteries, I think, close to where Jonathan off Lane Valley. We now have just discovered that there's a cemetery at the state hospital that was for African American people that died at the sanitarium, and so we're going to hopefully get an unknown, it's called an untold marker designation that the state does pay for. So we've got lots of stuff going on, and really we could appreciate being funded one more year.
So Judge, I don't know that we take action here, but when we go through the budget, I think that's where we would add it in the budget or not, and so that would probably be where the formal action would be, at least from my opinion. Do you agree?
Well, I'd like to add too that I know that we were put under county-sponsored activities, and we are a little bit more, we are part of Kirk County, and we're an arm of the county government. We have a unique position in the county, and so I don't think we fall under some of the other definitions or categories that are funded by grants or fundraising or whatever. We are not a fundraising organization.
So, does anybody come in from private entities at all?
No.
Just volunteer, basically?
Yeah.
So you don't do any fundraising?
Pardon?
When you had the camp, that was a fundraiser.
No.
Where did the money go?
No. It paid for the supplies.
So there was no...
No, nobody was paid.
Okay. Is it non-profit or not-for-profit or what?
We're not.
What I was trying, the reason this all came up, Julie, is
Yeah,
I'm trying to
I
find out
understood
from
that,
you
yeah.
what the charter says, or
Right.
whether you
Yeah.
can raise funds
Yeah.
other than the court.
No.
Whether we're bound to. I've not gotten an answer from the comptroller's office, from our county
No,
attorney,
no.
from you, from anybody.
No, we're not mandated.
Well, it came up because
Right.
we were cleaning out fat in the budget, and the question was asked, are we mandated to support
Right, yeah.
the Kirk County Historical Commission?
Right.
And you're not,
Nobody has an answer.
you're not bound to, but you're authorized to if the court, so it's a entity created by the Commissioners Court, and this was back in 1975. And the same statute that authorizes its creation also authorizes the court to provide funds for the Historical Commission. So you're authorized to. I don't think that I know that the rule doesn't say shall, but you're authorized to provide funds for the commission.
Okay.
But if they, it sounds like they're, like Julie said, they're part of county government, so they don't need to be a 501c3 because they are government. So they could receive donations, just like our animal control facility can receive donations.
Yeah.
You can receive them, and it would be,
Has to be approved if that's the case, if it's part of the county government. It's the Texas Historical Commission that oversees it all. This is the local branch. So, since, like a lot of things in Kirk County, when you look at the records, if you go past about 1980, it gets really fuzzy.
And
So
they're not part of the county government. It's created by the Commissioners Court, but they're not performing a county function or a government function, much like
Like road and
volunteer
bridge.
fire departments,
Yeah.
for example, you know, who are performing government health and
Emergency
safety,
service.
emergency service function. So it is a little different. I mean, we don't have any authority over their volunteers. So it is different.
So the issue here is to put it in the budget or not.
Yeah.
That's the issue. Okay, and we can decide that when we vote on the budget.
Since it was not in there, I'd recommend, Commissioner, that we do it now so we have a record that the money is back in the budget.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we include in next year's budget the funds of $44,450 for the Kirk County Historical Commission.
And I'll second that.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Moser, seconded by Commissioner Blue, to put $4,450 in the budget for the Kirk County Historical Commission. Discussion?
One thing that jumped out to me when I heard how much, at first, I thought somebody said it was like 4,200 or what have you, or even 45. That I thought, good grief, seems like they get a lot more from public donations than that. And that's what struck me as funny. I just thought, man, they could get a lot more
Right.
if it was solicited. But anyway, that's
And I think that we need to look into whether or not people can make contributions for the historical commission.
It would have to go into, there is a fund, but that is that people can donate for memorials.
Right.
But also, another part of the Historical Commission, we have the Friends of the Historical Commission, which is a 501c3. They've not been really active. They're supporting, I think, hoping for the museum to show up because the Historical Commission tells the Friends how they can spend their money that they raise. So we have to approve whatever,
What they spend.
project that they have. So that is another part of the Historical Commission.
Well, it's vital, I think, to preserve the history and to know where we came from so we know where we're going and all of those cliches, but it really is true.
Right.
And you can't, right now we see people tearing down our American history. And we want to preserve our history. We certainly want to preserve Kirk County history. And we don't want to ignore it. We don't want to act like it isn't important because it's very important. One of the first things I wanted to do as a commissioner was when they asked who I wanted to be a liaison to, I said the Historical Commission. So that was it was a no-brainer. But I just want people to know what their money's going for because taxpayers are paying for this and what is really required by law or whether, as Heather said, the court established it in 1975. So maybe I should just go back through all of 1975, read all of that.
Good luck.
And yeah, I know, it gets a little fuzzy after about 1980, whether you have any information or not. But I would really appreciate it if we could show everybody in Kirk County exactly what, it's the Historical Commission, we ought to know our own history of how the Historical Commission got established, what it's required to do, what it cannot do. So it's part of the history of the county that it was established. So please, y'all look into that.
There was a very nice article in the Community Journal this past week that Bonnie Arnold interviewed me, and it's very specific on what our objectives are and what we do, and so hopefully people will see that too. But we do our best to get the newspapers to carry our information, and matter of fact, we have a really good speaker that's coming up in September. He's the new director of the Texas at Schreiner University. He's a known scholar for the Civil War, and that meeting will be on the 21st at 12 noon at the Union Church, and he will be a spectacular speaker, and we're very excited about having him. So
And I would encourage everybody to go to the meetings. If you have any interest in history.
Well, we can use you on your radio station and you can give
You-
us a bunch of.
Okay.
As the, on a footnote of history, I made Sam go to the Kennesaw National Battlefield when we were, and something I did not realize, the final surrender during the Confederate War was in Galveston. That was
Was
the
what?
final surrender
Here.
of troops, and it took about 6 months for all the surrenders to line up. The last one was in Galveston. He was more interested that Roger Hornsby, who I know he's a very good baseball player, that his relative, great-grandfather, was killed in the Battle of Kennesaw.
Okay.
Commissioner Les, maybe you need to speak for our commissioner.
I don't know, it'd be a short speech, I'm afraid, but I do enjoy history.
Now, I will want to add that we do have archives at the Shriner University, and we welcome any collections. Our collections do not go to a personal, private citizen. They're available because they're owned by the county, and the county has an agreement with Shriner University. So we welcome any collections or whatever, and hopefully if we get them, y'all would approve them to go to the new museum. So I've gotten contacts recently on some collections, so I hope you'll remind any of your people in your precincts that we are part of the county, and we do not use them for, we use it for the information for Kerr County. We don't publish books or to make money, so anyway.
And how much is your salary, Julie?
It's not enough.
She does a lot for. No.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Sheila.
Mr. McElvain, Mr. Rector?
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Charlie McElvain. My address is 128 Mesa del Sol in Kerrville. I want to speak on behalf of the Historical Commission. Historical projects and programs are an important component to the hospitality and tourism industry. In fact, as you probably read recently, our sales tax are much better than anticipated right now. Our tourism component is certainly a factor there. Of course, in mid-March, the bottom kind of fell out. By April, we were only at 80. We were 80% down on our hotel occupancy tax for compared to last year. But as of August, it's come back up. We're only 3% down. 3% at this stage in the game. And one of those reasons.
For the quarter?
Pardon me?
For the quarter?
No, that was month to month. This was this year compared to last year for August. The right product mix makes a major difference, and we do have that product mix. One, we're perceived as an outdoor community with components and activities that people can spread out, and the historical activities, the monuments and what have you, the historical markers are an important factor there. We're anxious to see what our winter Texan project looks like after Thanksgiving, but we're hoping that will also be strong. The difference that this year over last year is that our components have changed slightly. If you visited or driven by any of the RV parks or the short-term rental facilities, those are packed and doing extremely well. Our hotels haven't totally bounced back, but even this weekend we had a big group in town, so we're seeing activities come back into Kerrville. But the historical aspect is extremely important to the tourism and hospitality industry. For that reason, I respectfully urge the Commissioners Court to support the Historical Commission's funding request. Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie.
Dr. Rector?
Honorable Commissioners, William Rector, 705 Water Street. I'll make this very brief. I wholeheartedly support this request and hope that you restore funding. I would like to mention that these are total voluntary work for the county. Julie receives no funding, no salary. This funding is totally to be utilized for the activities to provide historical service to the county. This is a total volunteer arm. They represent the county, they represent the county well, and all they're asking for is operational funds. I reviewed some of my pictures last night and came across one from 2010 in which Julie was at the podium speaking. She's been at this a long time. She is good. She has put in numerous hours, and the other volunteers have also donated 4,000 hours per year to the county. So I request that you positively consider this. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bill.
Well, there's one more question I have.
Yes, sir.
Is all, and maybe you know, Bill, maybe Julie knows, are all the funds being used?
No, they have not. Historically, if you look back over the years, when I was chairman, when others were chairman, it was unusual to spend all of the funds. What was not spent goes back to the county into the general fund to be used for the county for other purposes. But there are years when all those funds are spent, and the more activities that we're able to do, the more money is needed. Last year, a lot of this money went back to the county because of COVID. We couldn't hold our historical camps. The other activities that we had were canceled. So a lot of money went back to you from 2019 or 2020 because it was not utilized. And we do not accumulate funds. If we do not need them for our programs, they go back to the county. Does that answer your question?
Yes, I want everybody to know that.
Since I'm the one that really initiated this conversation, let me just conclude. These are budget concerns. We're averaging in excess of $2 million deficit budget every year. I made a proposed budget this year to try to balance that. My proposal was close. We're getting ready to wrap up the budget here in just a few minutes for the year and adopt it. We're almost $1 million deficit again. The question that I asked as a true conservative, as a true Republican, and I'm proud to say that I am, I believe that less government is better government. And I believe that we should do what is required of us as government. And to that end, I asked the question, as we looked at the nonprofits that we regularly contribute to. It's not that they don't do good works. I applaud everything the commission does. I am a huge supporter of the Historical Commission. The question is, should it be funded by the taxpayers? And I've asked that question. When it came to nonprofits, we do have the volunteer fire departments in our budget. After some sharp debate, political debate that we're having right now, we do have the veteran services in our budget after some debate, and we appreciate the economic impact that they provide to the county. But at the same time, these are important questions to ask, and I'm not embarrassed for having asked the questions. I applaud what you do. I applaud what all these nonprofits do, every single one of them. And the only one that we've included in the budget right now, other than the Historical Commission, if that's what the decision of this court is today, is the Dietrich Center. And that's because they have to have a matching grant in order to be able to get the federal monies to fund the Meals on Wheels. And that's $4,500 that we do eagerly and enthusiastically. We support what all of you do, and we support the commission. The real question in my mind is, should the county continue to provide budgetary support for nonprofits?
Well, this one is a little different, being as the court established it.
I'm not debating that.
So, in other words, instead of saying, do we support these nonprofits, do we abandon something we established?
Or do we look at the glasses as being half full instead of half empty? And do we encourage the Historical Commission, like we encourage Animal Control and Kerrville Pets Alive, and the veterans, and the volunteer fire departments, to help them raise these monies through the private sector and not the public sector?
I agree.
And what I am is 150% behind all these nonprofits, including the Historical Commission. But I'm not in favor of the county providing the funds to underwrite these other nonprofit organizations.
That's where I'm at on this issue. I'm going to vote for it. But a year from now, moving forward, I'd like to see them start soliciting from the public.
Be self-sufficient.
Be self-sufficient. I'm not gonna kick the legs out from under them at this point. But moving forward, we got a year to try to maybe have a fundraiser or do something to solicit some private money.
And I think another thing that I don't know if the public really appreciates the way county budgets work. But we budget the money at the beginning of the year. We're getting ready to adopt that budget here in just a few minutes. And then we may or may not spend that money as the year goes on. And there's a bunch of money that we did not spend this year because of COVID. And so we have some substantial funds that are coming back to the county that were not spent. So we have to budget in anticipation of expenses that may or may not actually be incurred. And so this is an example. I am completely in favor of the Historical Commission. Anything I can do to support, you have my unqualified support. But when they're not using the funds, these become some of the funds that come back to us at the end of the fiscal year that were not used. And so we are allocating tax dollars to fund things that are not mandated by the government. They're not governmental functions. And so I'm just trying to get people to look at the budget process and how we do this. This has no reflection whatsoever on the merits of the good works that are done by the Historical Commission.
I think it sounds like two things between now and next year is, one, to ask the Historical Commission to come up with a budget, and I'm sure y'all probably have one, but present a budget as to how much you actually need. And two, probably more looking at the statute and really see what the relationship financially is between the Historical Commission and the county and the Friends of the Historical Commission, which is a nonprofit. Kind of what that relationship is between all of that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then with that, is there any other discussion or debate? Any other input?
Well, I would say that this is, and Commissioner Harris brought it up, it's like, and you did too, Judge, it's like what we did with volunteer firefighters. It was a wake-up call that we're not just going to rubber stamp everything, because we've got to run a serious budget. But also, you don't want to jerk the rug out from under somebody when they're not expecting it and just say that's it. No. So this does give 12 months to deal with it and try to figure out if we can come up with a better plan than this and not spend tax.
Well,
but everybody watching at home, the history of this county is vitally important. And I will refer again to the people that are tearing down statues, burning flags, and trying to change our history. We need to preserve our history. So that's why I'm going to vote for it.
Yeah. Okay. Then all those in favor, raise your hand. And I voted with you because it's important that we have a unanimous court.
Okay.
We are in agreement. And I want y'all to hear that we are in agreement on this. And what we really want to do is help you support private funding if possible. That's our goal to get to.
Okay.
Okay, so that was a 5-0 vote. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is item 1.4.
I'm sorry to interrupt, 1.7 wasn't timed up.
I know, but
Okay.
it starts a whole series of budget items that we'll do after the break.
I understood.
So let's move on to 1.4. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding the National and Global Day of Prayer and Repentance event scheduled for September 26, 2020, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the courthouse grounds. Commissioner Ballou.
I had anticipated somebody being here to explain this. Is there anybody in the hall that wants to speak on this issue?
Is this Ms. Graves?
On what issue?
1.4, the
Angela
national-
Graves?
Yeah.
Anybody wanted to speak on it? No?
Well, then I'm going to pass on it because I'm not going to go through that and explain it when it's their event.
Pass.
Okay. Item 1.5, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve Kerr County investment policy. Tracy Solden.
I'm not here either.
Okay, we'll pass on that right now. Item 1.6, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to ratify and confirm a proposal with Republic Services for 2 8-yard containers for the project barn at the Hill Country Youth Event Center. Shane Evans.
Good morning, gentlemen. The 4-H project building, they're needing 2 8-yard containers to put their shavings and manure in to be hauled off. Have the contract signed already. Instead of putting it in that pit and then later spread, It also keeps down on flies. It's a tremendous problem, so it'll be hauled off once a week and hopefully cut down on that.
Shane, what is Project Barn?
The project barn?
No, it says Project Barn.
Oh,
What is the project?
Project
It's a
Center.
4-H building.
Huh?
4-H, where livestock is.
So it's called
At the
Project
back,
Barn?
Project Center.
I understand, I know what it is. I didn't realize it was called Project Barn.
Well,
My-
Project Center is usually what it goes by.
Huh?
Project Center is what it's usually
Oh,
called,
okay,
most
all
of
right.
them.
Okay, thanks. No problem.
I move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Harris, seconded by Commissioner Letts, to approve the contract with Republic Services for the 2 8-yard containers for the Project Barn at the Hill Country Youth Event Center.
Tracy is out here now, good.
Okay,
Judge,
let us take a vote on this first.
Judge.
Don't go away, don't go away.
a comment on this, and Commissioner Harris and I have been talking about this for, I don't know, a couple of weeks anyway. We've looked at a lot of options, talked to other counties. This stuff could be composted. The problem is we don't have a place to do it. One of the thoughts we had some counties do is they compost it and then give it away, like they do with brush, chipped up brush. We talked to New Earth that sells this stuff and said if they'd be willing to take it free, backhaul it. They said no. So we looked at a number of different options rather than having to spend money to haul it off. But this is the best option that we have.
Sure.
There's not a corner out there or someplace we could compost it?
Well,
Put it in the far eastern
The problem
corner?
is the proximity to the river.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Over
what we.
over the road and bridge area, there's not, over,
that's
Well,
still-
if we had additional property over there, maybe.
Then you're hauling and everything else.
But it's just, and then you start hauling and it starts costing more than hauling
Okay,
off. So
yeah.
you get into a lot of issues. We looked at some better options in our mind and from a,
We've looked at a lot.
looked at a lot, but this is the best
Okay,
option.
fine, okay.
Problem,
Good
immediate
enough.
problem.
It's been up to their ears and fertilizer and didn't know what to do.
That's right.
Okay, those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous 5-0. Ms. Holden, we'll try to get you in, we're getting ready to take a break. Let me call yours again, which is 1.5, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve the Kirk County investment policy.
Yes, sir. The investment policy, there are no changes to it. It's just an annual update that needs to be approved in court.
move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Moser, seconded by Commissioner Blue to approve the investment policy for Kirk County. Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay,
Wish
we've
I
got
could
a
make
series.
sale that easy. I wish I could make a sale that easy.
We've got a series of timed events that are going to go on for quite some time. It's just a couple of minutes after 10. Let's come back at about 10:15 and we'll start taking the timed items. It's the tax rates that go on for quite some time. But let's start at 1.7. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding any changes to the proposed Kirk County budget for FY 2021.
Good morning. Each of you should have a page in front of you that looks like this.
It highlights the changes in the proposed budget. The first one we have is in the unclaimed capital credits fund. We received our payment for unclaimed capital credits in the current year. It was less than what we had anticipated. In order to make our payment to the Economic Development Corporation for next year, we'll have to supplement that fund out of Fund 10, the general fund, for about $9,500 will be the gap. The second change is going to be in the District Clerk Tech Fund. This is a special revenue fund. It does not receive any ad valorem tax money. She is requesting a budget of $35,000 to pay for some jury software. The third change we have is what we discussed in court just a moment ago. It's the Historical Commission, refunding that storing to $44.50, which is the amount that we have in the current budget. The fourth change we have is related to the Public Defender's Office. The $237,810 is the Kirk County's portion. We reduced 4 courts: County Court of Law, 216th District Court, 198th District Court, and Juvenile Probation, the ad litem attorneys, to fund that Kirk County portion. We also have changes to Fund 16, our capital projects. The 2020 real property purchase, the amount of $2.5 million, which is our tax note. Also the airport projects, $510,535. This is the expected remainder of the unspent portion of projects that were funded in the current year. And last is the Public Defender's Office, various public defender accounts, 3.129 million. This is to set up the budget for the 5-member Public Defender's Office. Is there any changes
Talk
on?
a little bit more about the Public Defender's Office. You said to set up the fund.
Yes, when we received the grant, gave us a budget
Right.
and how much the state will give us, how much each county is going to participate. This is setting up the entire expenditure budget.
Okay. So we'd have revenue coming in from those other sources.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, and to give a better overview so that the public understands what we're really doing.
Right.
We have in the budget, last year I know it was about $750,000 is what we paid in attorney indigent defense cost. And we expect to have substantial savings because of the Regional Public Defender's Office. The number that you see back up there, the 237,810, that is our projected pro rata allocation for the 5-county office.
Okay.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
And then when you look down here at the total budget, that is the budget that TIDC put together in their initial report to us that we relied on to file our application for the grant.
Correct.
And then we were awarded $2,503,260 grant against that. And so the 237,810 is our portion, and then we've got the other 4 counties that will be making their contributions.
Right.
But all told, this is resulting in a significant savings to the county.
So this is, this $3 million, that's really just a placeholder for the fund, because we're gonna get money from the grant, we're gonna get money from other
Yes.
counties.
Yes.
So we show this,
Yes.
you know, a layman would look at that and they say, my God, that's an expense. That's
No.
projected expense.
That's correct.
You don't show any projected revenue or funds coming in from other sources.
That's why we're explaining it so you understand
Right.
that this is a good thing, not a bad thing.
Right.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
And if I may.
But so
also-
why wouldn't we show funds that we expect to come in from the other sources, from the grant and other counties?
A breakout?
We
Yeah.
have
Because it's a
it
grant?
in our general.
Talk to people in the public can't hear you.
So if you go to our big sheet for the budget, I
Yeah.
think it's the very last, you'll see Fund 60 there, and you'll see the estimated non-tax revenue is that same 3.1 million.
Okay.
So that's made up of both
So
the
if you
grant.
just say that in this summary, okay, that would be
Yes.
helpful.
I was going to get to that when we get to the next item.
Okay, all right.
But-
Okay. We got it, we jumped in. Thanks, James.
On the PDO, this number will then get broken down, or we'll still yet to prepare a itemized budget like we have for all the rest of the county departments with the specific salary line items.
We
and
do have
benefits.
that. Yes, we do have that.
That's already been prepared,
Yes,
that
sir.
matches this.
That'll be helpful.
Yes. We can
Okay.
do that for you.
We adopted what they recommended. What we
Yeah.
did.
Okay.
Okay. Any action to be taken on this?
No, sir?
Okay, just information?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Informational, but this is where we lose things. I would recommend that we do a court order making these amendments before we approve it just in the budget.
Yeah, because, it's like we did in the.
Well, is this it?
This is it.
This is it? Okay.
I make a motion that we approve the items as presented as budget amendments, or budget amendments to the,
Changes to the proposed.
changes to the proposed budget. Thank you.
So it's really to approve the changes from the proposed budget
To the final
to the
budget.
adopted budget for FY 2021.
Yeah.
Second.
Just like it's titled.
Right.
Okay. Motion's been made by Commissioner Letts, seconded by Commissioner Moser, to approve the changes from the proposed budget to the adopted budget for FY 2021. Is there any other discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, 5-0. Item 1.8. This is a public hearing, and I'm going to convene a public hearing at this time on the proposed Kerr County budget for FY 2021. Is there anyone who would like to address the court with regard to this public meeting? Okay, there being no one, we will adjourn and move on to item 1.9, which is to consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to adopt the elected officials' salaries. Mr. Robles.
Yes, in your packet, you will also have this page. This was published in the Kerrville Daily Times as required. This details the salary changes of our elected officials, as well as their supplements and proposed travel. And the court will have to pass this.
And the only changes are due to longevity, correct?
That's correct.
Make a motion to approve the salaries for elected officials.
Say that again, though. The changes are because of longevity.
Longevity.
Yeah, okay.
Which is required. Right, we adopted a policy several years ago.
Okay. I think it's important that that be made very clear. Okay.
Make a motion that we approve the proposed salaries for elected officials and precinct officials.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Letts, seconded by Commissioner Harris to approve, to adopt the elected salaries, official salaries schedule as presented. Any other discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, 5-0. Item 1.10, this is another public hearing on the proposed Kerr County and Lateral Roads 2020 tax rate. Mr. Reeves.
Public hearing.
It's public, this is just public hearing. Anyone like to address the court on that issue? Okay, there not being anyone, we will adjourn and call item 1.11, which is a public meeting on the proposed Lake Ingram Estates Road District tax rate. So to convene that meeting, let's come to order. Anybody want to address the court on the Lake Ingram Estates Road tax district tax rate? Okay. Then we'll move on, I'll adjourn, go on now to item 1.12, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to adopt FY 2021 Kerr County budget and take a record vote.
Each of you should have this page in front of you as well.
Yes.
From the changes in the proposed budget that were discussed in item 1.7, they're all reflected on this page. As you can see, the general fund with all expenses will have a remaining fund balance of 33.66%. The grand total for all budgeted funds gives a fund balance of 25.81%. And you'll notice this page on the bottom section here has two additional funds that were not included in the proposed budget. One is Fund 16, our capital projects. Since we had changes for the tax note of $2.5 million and also the remainder of airport projects, we added that fund to this page, as well as Fund 60, the Public Defender's Office, and this is addressing your comment, Mr. Mosier. This is where we show the revenue of $3.129 million, as well as the expenses for the Public Defender's Office.
And James, is this on the website?
It will be after we vote.
Okay.
Has to be approved first.
It has to be approved.
And what we're looking at is it's titled the Kerr County 2020-2021 Budget Summary as of 9/14/2020.
That's correct.
Just to clarify for the record.
Move for approval for the budget.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Moser, seconded by Commissioner Ballou, to approve the fiscal year 2020-2021 Kerr County budget as reflected in the budget summary dated September 14, 2020. Is there any discussion?
Hold on a second. It's reflected here, but it'll be, the proposed budget's the proposed budget, regardless of what's reflected here, because there may be some last minute changes, correct? I mean, when the final bills come out and our final bills are paid, is this going to be exactly like this?
This usually stays the same because it's based on the estimated reserve balance is the only thing that would be changing. Is that what your comments?
It would have to be a major change.
Well, we're talking about a proposed budget, and this is estimated as of the 15th of the month. The motion is to approve the budget.
Is to adopt.
To adopt the budget for which I don't know, the sheet this is not the budget. This is estimated with some of the dates, isn't it?
But all budgets are estimated.
Yes, you're correct. The estimated reserve balance is an estimation, so we wouldn't necessarily be approving this page, but this page does summarize on the expenditure side the proposed budget.
So we're approving the budget.
Right.
Not yet.
That's the reason I asked, is it on the website? And you said it will be after.
Once it becomes adopted. The proposed budget is on the website,
Right.
but there will be an updated version with the adopted.
Right. Okay.
But this is a record vote to adopt the proposed budget.
That's correct.
Any other discussion?
Well, just that this is a decrease, but it raises more revenue, so that people understand that there is more revenue because of growth, but there is a decrease in the rate.
Okay, so let's take a vote. Precinct 1,
Yes.
Precinct 2,
Yes.
Precinct 3,
Yes.
Precinct 4,
Yes.
and County Judge is yes, unanimous 5-0. Item 1.13, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to take a record vote to adopt the 2020 Kerr County tax rate. This will be the combined tax rate for Kerr County and lateral roads. Mr. Reeves.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. On August 24th of this year, the court proposed by unanimous record vote to set the tax rate for the 2020 tax year at .4757 per $100 valuation. It's broke down as follows. Lateral road fund, 0.0298 per $100 valuation. Maintenance and operations, 0.387 per $100 valuation. Interest and sinking fund of 0.0589 per $100 valuation. A public meeting was just held by this court. The court is now required to officially adopt the tax rate for the 2020 tax year. The form and wording of the motion is attached and should be read into the record for the 2020 tax rate to be adopted. This adopted tax rate shall be by a record roll call vote.
Okay. Then I will make a motion. I move for the adoption of a total combined tax rate for the tax year 2020 of 0.4757 per $100 valuation, and breaks down the tax rate as follows. Maintenance and operations, 0.3870 per $100 valuation. Interest and sinking fund, 0.0589 per $100 valuation. And lateral roads, 0.0298 per $100 valuation. This rate does not exceed the 2020 no new revenue rate.
Second.
I've made the motion, seconded by Commissioner Harris, to approve the tax rate as presented. Floor is open for discussion. Okay, those in favor? Can't do it that way. Precinct number 1?
Yes.
Number 2?
Yes.
3?
Yes.
4?
Yes.
And County Judge, yes, unanimous 5-0.
Just for the public, that .4757 compares to last year's tax rate to .515.
That is correct.
Yes, okay. So that's a 7.6% reduction rate. Okay, good, thanks.
Item 1.14, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to adopt the 2020 Lake Ingram Estates Road District tax rate. This will also be a record vote. Mr. Reeves?
Thank you. Also on August 24th of this year, the court by unanimous vote proposed a tax rate for the Lake Ingram Estates Road District of 0.1785 per $100 valuation. A public meeting on this tax rate was just held by the court. The court is now required to officially adopt the tax rate, and the form of this motion is included in your backup material. A record vote is required.
I move to adopt the Lake Ingram Estates Road District tax rate of 0.1785 per $100 valuation for the 2020-21 fiscal tax year.
Second.
Motion's been made by me, seconded by Commissioner Harris, to approve the Lake Ingram Estates Road District tax rate. Voting, Precinct 1?
Yes.
Precinct 2?
Yes.
Precinct 3?
Yes.
Precinct 4?
Yes.
And the county, yes. 5-0, unanimous. Okay, now we're on to our 10 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reeves. Item 1.15, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve the Kerr 911 fiscal year 2021 budget. Mark Del Toro.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here in accordance with Texas Health and Safety Code 772, Subchapter D, to ask for your approval of my fiscal year 2021 budget. This budget was approved by the Kerr 911 Board of Managers on August 6th. It is a balanced budget. You should have a copy of that budget in your packet, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
So you got a 4% salary increase
Yes, sir.
in here.
Yes. We also had a reduction in personnel costs due to our medical insurance rates being reduced. So there's actually a net overall decrease of 1.25% in personnel costs.
Okay. Yeah, there were not many other organizations in the county that have any salary increases like that.
Yes, sir. We have a single mission, and we're really good at it. We're frugal
Our
with
single
money.
mission serve the public.
That's it.
I'm very pleased with your balanced budget.
Thank you, sir.
And they've always done a good job even reducing the budget, so, yeah.
I move for approval.
A second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Harris, seconded by Commissioner Blue to approve the Kerr 911 fiscal year 2021 budget. Is there any other discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, 5-0. Thanks,
you,
Mark.
gentlemen.
Item 1.16, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to abandon, vacate, and discontinue a portion of road at the end of Encino Drive, approximately 100 feet. Ms. Bell.
Yes. Good morning. I have a list of the 9 homeowners that all agreed to vacate the road, and it's notarized if you'd like to have a copy of this. I was asked by Commissioner Baloo to communicate with the homeowners, which I did, and they all agreed with the vacate. And then I believe Charlie had asked me to ask about a turnaround. None of them the homeowners want a turnaround. There was one undecided, and I gave him the phone number to Charlie to talk to him.
So why are we doing this?
Oh, I apologize for that. The damage on my property, I have a
You
little
can take your
less.
mask off so we understand you.
Okay. I guess because the continued damage on my property, hitting my fences, hitting my cars, stealing wood, knocking down posts, it's just been continually, and they've just gotten more bolder. They'll stand out, park at night. I've had to call the police to have them to leave. Just nonstop. They ran over my well line and broke it twice and drained my well water. So by having this vacated up at the gate there, it has stopped all the traffic and no more.
So after a certain point on the road, property on both sides?
Yes, I own both sides of the property, and the fence is well within the property line. And we also put rail ties on there because the last time it was broken was in April, and they broke the faucet right there and drained my whole well. So,
Okay, thank you.
So this is, what we're doing here, this is a request for us to start the process?
no, to vacate that last 100 feet,
To stop maintenance?
to stop maintenance and vacating the road.
Don't we need a public hearing for that?
I can go through the process if you like.
We do.
No, there's no public hearing,
Yeah. So,
text dot,
yeah.
a lot of things.
Did you want a copy of the signatures, or who wants a copy?
No, hang on to
Okay.
that. That'll be important for you.
Just real quick, I'll go over the process. We're being asked to abandon, vacate, and discontinue a portion of the road. The process to do that is to prepare a petition with 8 signatures from people who live in the precinct. The petition must show the limits of the road to be abandoned, vacated, and discontinued, and the petition must be posted at both ends of the subject portion of the road, as well as the courthouse, for a minimum of 20 days prior to a public hearing. A public hearing is required before the Commissioners Court can consider the petition, and following the public hearing, the Commissioners Court may consider and take action on the subject request. So if we were going to move forward with abandoning, vacating, discontinuing, that would be the process by state law. I have an exhibit in here, a drawing that I wanted to share with you. The roads that we have, you can look at this too, Shirley. I think you'll appreciate this. The yellow line is her property line. She owns several pieces of property back there, I think 3. It's actually 4. It comprises, I don't know, 10, 12 acres, something
just
like
under
that.
14.
So just under 14 acres. And the issue that she has described is folks come back to the end of the road.
Is
And
her property to the left or the right? of the
her
yellow
property is
line?
to the left of that yellow line.
Okay, gotcha.
I've not zoomed out enough to show that because I wanted to
Okay.
zoom in and show you where she has placed the gate across the road. She got a call from me saying, hey, you placed the gate across a public road, you need to remove the gate. She said, well, I'd really like to abandon, vacate, and discontinue the road so that I can have a gate right there. And I said, okay, come to the court and ask them if they would like to proceed with that. Because right now she does have a letter from me saying, hey, you need to remove the gate.
Is this a privately owned public use road? Or is?
No, sir, this is actually maintained by Kerr County.
I know we maintain it. I know we maintain it.
And it is it's dedicated on the plat as a public road.
So it's a dedicated public road.
Just back in the 60s, the homeowners, there was only 4, and we paid to have the road paved, and then we donated it to the county to maintain. So that's how that worked.
So being as she has property on both sides of the road after a certain point, I told her that we need to have a public hearing. First of all, talk to her neighbors, be neighborly.
And I have a list,
when she
all
has a
100%
list.
said they agree.
Right.
And then all of them agreed to no, they do not want to turn around. Only one was undecided. We gave them Charlie's number, and I don't know whether or not he contacted them or not.
Right, so what's the total?
There's only 9.
9 people. So that would meet the requirement.
Charlie, what?
Yeah. And then the process now is to have the, which I explained to you, that we would have to have a public meeting on.
Yeah, and I tell me how to proceed from there. I think I've done all I.
So really, this is initiating the process.
Right.
Yeah, right, that's all.
This would be to initiate the process of, but something that is important to Mrs. Bell is that there's no turnaround required. I will say and point out that all of these requests that we've had, we've required a turnaround on all of them. And the reason is that in our standards right now, any road that is more than 99 feet, we need some way for people to turn around. You've got emergency vehicles going back there, people that don't belong, but they make a wrong turn and maybe they're pulling a trailer or something, need a safe place to turn around.
There's no turnaround there now.
There's no turnaround
So,
in this
there's none
exhibit.
now, so we're gonna
Why do
follow
it
on.
now? We don't want more traffic, and that was the other thing.
Right.
Some of the homeowners had asked to put a no through traffic. We already have a dead end sign, but they would like to have even less, that put no through traffic underneath the dead end sign to deter people from coming up the road. I think the road is very minimum. Most large trucks that come up, they have to back out. They don't want the road widened, and they really don't want to turn around. That's what they've discussed here.
So it's interesting, we don't have a turnaround, but if you close it, then
They want to turn around,
consider
so it doesn't
it.
make sense. Yeah.
Well, but there are times where when you, for example, you buy a piece of property and it's a different use, you have to make some
Changes, yeah.
some changes.
Right.
So I don't know if that's required if we do this or not. It doesn't seem like it would be. Is there
To
any?
have a turnaround?
Yeah.
It's required.
But that's on new roads.
That's what I'm demonstrating.
But she doesn't have it now, is what Commissioner Moser's point is.
That's correct, and the other roads we required it on didn't have them either.
As we close. Right.
That's right.
So it's new use. All right. I mean, it would fall under that category.
What I've done is I've demonstrated on here what a turnaround would look like. And the property that would need to be dedicated, and then what we've done in the past is the property was dedicated by the property owner, and once the county owned the property, then County Road and Bridge forces utilize their equipment and material to build the turnaround.
I should have. Right here, when they reach the gate, or my property line, my gate's way up here. It's not here, by the way. So when they open it, it's not impeding the other people's property, my neighbor's property. So what they're doing right now is the people just back up, and there's a garden here. This is was my folks' property. And there's a garden right here, and that's where they're turning around right now. So they already have a makeshift turnaround, and it's before you reach my property. They're just backing up and going into it.
So what are these specs on the turnaround?
The specs on a turnaround would be the property that would need to be dedicated. It would be 80 feet by 60 feet. And then a road within that would be built that would be 30 feet wide and 60 feet long. That would allow a vehicle that's pulling a trailer that comes to the end, gets up to the gate and says, oh boy, what do I do now?
Right.
I did get a phone call from the one gentleman that said he didn't sign. He called this morning and he said while he was visiting with you that a trash truck went by and both of y'all said, how's that truck going to turn around? Or he said that at least. And so that is a big concern of his, was he wanted to know how.
That's
how
why he
big-
was the one that wants to know through traffic.
Right.
Originally, we wanted to gate it at Encino Drive, at the Rancho Road, and just privatize that whole 9 homes. But so instead, I guess most of the people just put their own gates up.
I do want to be careful of the logic of the 9 people that have signed this that they don't care to have a turnaround. It's a public road. It's open for anybody in the world that wants to drive on it.
Well,
That's the people that are concerned about turning around.
Okay, so if that's a county maintained road.
Yes, sir.
Up to that point, we abandoned part of it. Does the county incur the expense of making a turnaround?
We have in the past.
Right.
Yes. It's a minimal expense.
We need to stick.
But all we're doing today is letting her initiate this process, and we'll make these fine-tune points decisions later.
We can do that, yes, sir. What I'm looking for is direction today, because right now she has a notice of violation that she has a gate across a public road. And
that was not lost on me.
So it sounds like today I move forward with the next letter to her, which is certified mail, that says you've got 30 days to remove it or it will be removed.
Well, we need to stick to county policy on this stuff.
Oh, the gate is open. They can go through everybody, FedEx, everybody, UPS, mailman, everybody's going through the gate. They can access it. I have 2 12-foot gates. One gate is always closed, one gate's open, and it has made a huge difference with the traffic when they see no posts in front of them. But I would like to proceed with vacating the road, and I've got the signatures that want it vacated. And as far as the turnaround, we can, like I said, they don't want to turn around, they don't want the road widened, but there was one undecided. So,
it's a matter
understand
of what
that.
the law requires.
right, I'm just telling you what the people on that road have
To
to
move
say.
forward, if you'd like, I'll guide her through the process of getting the proper notifications out so that we can have the public hearing, if that's what.
And I'm fine with that. And I just want Ms. Bell to understand, we're not making the decision about whether there's a turnaround there now. We're just initiating the process
Okay.
so that you can gate that.
Yes, sir.
We can abandon that portion of the road and you can gate it.
All right, thank you.
And we'll start that process and authorize Charlie to walk you through it. But of course, not making any determination today as to whether or not there'll be a turnaround.
Okay.
But in the meantime, anything that's on that road, that's a county road. You don't have any right to have anything on the road. Your property goes up to the edge of the road belongs to the county.
Right, and none of this
So
is
if you
on.
have something in as an obstruction, it's in violation.
Even if you got 2 gates and one of them's left closed,
Anything on that road.
the other one needs to be open too, I would think.
Okay, so that you're asking me to open the road again?
Just open it, till we get through the process.
I think
Until this is done, so
Okay.
it's basically showing good faith in this.
Okay.
Ms.
I
Bell,
wanna
what
do
we
it
don't want
right,
to
let's do it right.
what we don't want to have happen is we don't have any liability issues arising over this. If you got a gate out across a public road and somebody hits it and there's damage, they're gonna complain to us. And so right now, you're not supposed to gate a public road. It is a public road. And so for the time being, I think the legal thing would be to keep those gates open.
Open them,
Okay.
and we'll proceed.
And we'll go through this process with you and try to accommodate your concerns. But I think we need to have that road open at this point.
part of the process, I'm going to clarify something you said, Judge. The county policy is to have a turnaround. We can go start the process now, but it's questionable whether there'd be enough votes to close it without a turnaround.
Right.
Correct.
based on what I'm hearing.
Correct.
Yes.
And that's what I want to make sure Ms. Bell understands.
Right.
We want to try to accommodate, and we're going to help you get through this process, but we may very well require a turnaround.
Right.
Okay, and so that would be,
Well, you need to
you
get
guys
the
would
chart.
require, even though the landowners in that don't care for it, it's up you guys decide, because that's, I was
Yeah, it's
asked
us-
to
it's
get
Ms.
a.
Bell,
the rules.
this is what's in the best interest of the public,
Right.
not those 8 or 9 landowners up road.
Right.
We understand what they want, and we're not necessarily disagreeing with them, but we're saying we have to do what's in the public's interest,
It's a public road.
because it's a public road.
And that would come down to you talking with Charlie, so you understand what it would be like to have a turnaround.
Okay, but would you have to widen the road, because I know the dimensions you gave.
No, the road wouldn't need to be widened, there would need to be this little
Turnaround.
turnaround place
Like a back out.
adjacent to the road at those dimensions.
And you can do it here where they're already turning around?
No, because if it needs to be within 40 feet of the gate. Otherwise, someone gets up there and then they're backing up. Right now, they're backing up 140 feet before they can get somewhere where they can kind of turn around. And if they got a trailer, they're going way off into private property to do it. It needs to be public. So this would be land dedicated to the public, and then a public turnaround road.
Oh, this whole area here?
Yes, yes.
Got
You can
it.
keep this. You can
I was
keep
gonna
this.
say, that's the garden, I don't think that's gonna work right there, it's gonna
So
have to
really,
be this way.
but
Put
y'all
it on
need
the
to
other
sit
side.
down
We have
and
to
talk
be on
about
the
it
other side.
elsewhere,
Okay.
rather than, we're not gonna do it now, but
We're an
so you
engineer.
understand.
Okay, gotcha.
You good, Charlie? You
I got good direction, I know what to do. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Bell.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 1.17,
Did you want a copy of this?
consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to receive bids for Phase 2 and Phase 3 of the Kerr County Center Point wastewater project. And that's Mr. Hastings.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. The Kerr County, East Kerr County wastewater project, we opened bids on September the 3rd. The bid opening was at 2 p.m. And here were the following is a tabulation of the bids that were opened and they were read aloud. I will do them in order of price with the lowest bid starting first. D. Guerra Construction, LLC, they're out of Austin, Texas. Their total bid price that was read aloud on their bid package was $9,029,557.52. Wagner Construction Incorporated, they're out of International Falls, Minnesota.
Judge.
$11,199,548.44. This is in your backup data. Pasado Construction Company out of Schertz, Texas, $14,340,596.10. Speece Construction Company, Inc., out of Orcutt, California, $14,865,973.58. And Excel Aircraft, LLC, doing business as Excel Trenching, out of Carthage, Texas, $15,130,874.68. Those were the bid tabulations for Phase 2. I'll go on to Phase 3 if there's no questions for Phase 2. Phase 3 of the Kerr County Center Point wastewater project. The following are the bid tabulations open and read on September 3rd, 2020 for Phase 3 of the project. And again, this is in order of lowest bid to highest bid. D. Guerra Construction, LLC, out of Austin, Texas, $6,751,648.95. M5 Utilities, LLC, out of Bernie, Texas, $7,942,834.21. T Construction, LLC, out of Houston, Texas, $8,461,596.25. Wagner Construction Incorporated, out of International Falls, Minnesota, $8,593,704.04. Wampole Miller Incorporated, doing business as Miller Brothers, out of Conshohocken, Pennsylvania, $10,109,747.04. Speece Construction Company, Inc., out of Orcutt, California, $11,222,123.93. Pasado Construction Company, out of Schertz, Texas, $11,313,551.00. And Excel Aircraft LLC, doing business as Excel Trenching, out of Carthage, Texas, $11,615,703.45.
So Garrett was low bid on both.
Yes, sir.
So the question, so the agenda item, Mrs. County Attorney, is to accept the bids.
To receive.
To receive the bids, I mean, not to accept. Yes, thank you, Judge. To receive the bids. So all we're doing is acknowledging that those bids have been sent and we have received them.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
And so that takes a formal action on our part to say we're receiving the bids?
Yes.
It needs to be officially received by the court. They opened them.
Yeah. Okay.
A couple of weeks ago.
So I make a motion that we receive the bids as presented by the county engineer.
Second.
Okay.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Moser, seconded by Commissioner Letts to receive the bids on Phase 2 and Phase 3 of the Kirk County Center Point wastewater projects as presented.
And part of the discussion is, now you and Tetra Tech, Don, will go through these bids and evaluate them and then come back to the court with a recommendation.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay.
Charlie, the other question I have is, hopefully you bought the spreadsheet with that you had. How much money do we have in the grant funding for these two projects, two phases?
For right now we have about 18.9 million in construction funds for phases 1, 2, and 3. We have some outstanding bills for phase 1. So that when that project's closed out, that'll bring it down to about 16.4 million. If you add these two low bids, you're at 15.9 million.
Okay.
So we're well within.
And is that just water development or is that TDA also?
That is a combination of
both of them?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Texas Water Development Board, the CDAP funding, and the Texas Department of Agriculture funding. Yes,
So
sir.
low bids, we're right there.
Those are construction dollars only. There also is contingency on top of that. So we're good.
What is the process of the evaluation? Is that to make sure we're
I'm going to let
measuring apples and oranges?
Tetra Tech, our engineering consultant from Tetra Tech, Don Berger.
Yeah, basically, we do an evaluation like we would for any contractor that you're going to invest this much money in. We investigate their qualifications, ensure that they are a qualified bidder and have the capabilities to do the work. I've asked the low bidders to prepare some additional documentation showing us what their resources are, how many people they have, kind of equipment they have, to help us assure us that they will be able to complete both projects within the allotted construction schedule. So I know that on this project, getting these projects done on time will be very important. We also will have to prepare a qualifications package of documentation for the Texas Water Development Board and a separate package for the TDA to get them approved by the funding agencies. And so those packages will be prepared. That does require cooperation by the low bidder, but we would come to you at the next Commissioners Court meeting with a recommendation for a tentative award to the to probably the low bidder, but whoever it is, we would make recommendation to that we find to be the lowest qualified bidder on the project that can get the work done. And then following that, the documentation would go to the Water Development Board and TDA for their approval. Once they've approved that, then we can have the contracts executed and issue a notice to proceed.
Now, I'll repeat something you just said. Lowest qualified bidder. So you're.
Yes, sir.
And when you come back, you and Charlie, you'll have some should costs in there that Tetra Tech
We'll
has
have,
committed to.
we'll have a review of references. We'll have a review
No, I
of
said
qualifications.
should cost.
Should cost.
Should cost.
Oh, the engineering estimate. We will provide a bid tabulation, a detailed look at each of the unit prices that were provided by all of the bidders, and then a comparison with what the engineer's estimate of those costs were.
That's what I'm asking for. The
Yes.
engineer's estimate
Yes.
of what it should.
That will be
Okay.
shown with the bid tabulation.
Okay. Very important part.
Not necessarily, I wouldn't call that a should cost. It's
Well-
my estimate of what it might cost.
Okay, well.
You'll also be
It's
able
your-
to compare it to what costs were under phase one.
We can do that as well if you'd like.
Yes.
I can prepare a comparison to the
Yes.
contract cost from phase one.
I think the unit cost comparison there would be pretty helpful.
Right.
Okay.
In your analysis primarily.
Sure.
How long are these bids good for?
60 days.
The other thing you talked about, timing is important, and it is, and our schedule was by September 1st, we would have these under contract, so we're a little bit behind, so, okay.
Push it as fast as we can. It is taking a little bit more time. We had a couple of hiccups in the initial qualification. One of the names of one of the officers of actually more than one of the contractors showed up on a list, and so we had to go back and find a complete name to clear it.
Project schedule slip, okay?
Yes.
So, important to manage. Okay, good.
I'd heard over the weekend, just by chance, that resin plants have really took a hit here lately. One burned up and one affected by a hurricane. That PVC pipe just jumped like 30% overnight almost. Does that play into this?
It doesn't look like it.
Okay.
Based upon what we see in the bids. But the cost of the pipe itself, and most of the pipe on this project is PVC, it's not an insignificant cost of the whole thing, but it is a very small portion of that cost. Okay. Most of that is the labor to install the PVC, the equipment to excavate.
Good.
These are fixed price contracts, too.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, the motion on the floor is to receive bids for phase 2 and 3 of the Kerr County Centerpoint wastewater project. Any other discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, 5-0. Thanks, Don.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
This is a public hearing to remove the road name of Padre Pio Drive West in Precinct 4. So I'm convening a public meeting. Is there anyone here that would like to address the court with regard to removing the name Padre Pio Drive West?
Hello again. I submitted the application to have the road name removed, Padre Pio Drive. Back in 2010, the Commissioners Court voted to actually realign Cummings Lane. And Cummings Lane, once it was realigned, took over the section of road that was named Padre Pio, but the road name Padre Pio was never officially dropped. And that is my request.
I move for approval. Second.
It's public.
We're at the public
Oh, it's
hearing.
public hearing. Yeah, we'll get it.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Is there anyone else that would like to address the court with regard to this? Okay, then we'll adjourn the public hearing and move on to item 1.19. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action for the Commissioners Court final approval to remove the road name of Padre Pio Drive West.
Mark Del Toro from the 911 office applied on 7/8 of 2020 to have the existing road name of Padre Pio Drive West removed from the record, and all of the road will be named Cummings Lane, which was named in 2010, as Mark said, and Padre Pio Drive West was never removed. Kerr County maintains Cummings Road West from Blue Ridge Road West to Ed's Way West, approximately 400 feet. The section from Ed's Way West to the end is not maintained by Kerr County and currently has a sign that states county maintenance ends, and that's this portion that we're speaking of. The public hearing was just held. At this time, I ask the Commissioners Court for their final approval regarding the removal of the road name of Padre Pio Drive West, and this is in Precinct 4.
Now I move for approval.
And I'll second. Okay.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Blue, seconded by Commissioner Harris, to approve the removal of the road name of Padre Pio Drive West. Is there any other discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, 5-0.
Thank you, Mark.
Item 1.20 is another public hearing that I'm going to convene regarding the installation of a stop sign at the intersection of Horizon Boulevard South and Shepherd Reese Road South in Precinct 1. Is there anyone who would like to address the court with regard to this issue? There being no one, then we will adjourn, and let me call item 1.21. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action for the Commissioners Court final approval regarding the installation of a stop sign at the intersection of Horizon Boulevard South and Shepherd Reese Road South. Ms. Hofer.
A gentleman came to the engineering office in the afternoon of Thursday, July 16th, 2020, inquiring about a stop sign at the intersection of Horizon Boulevard South and Shepherd Reese Road South. The man stated that he has almost been hit twice by folks leaving the Horizon and entering Shepherd Reese Road South. I looked through all of our records and could not find where there was a court order for a stop sign at this intersection. There is a private road street sign, green with red stripe, on Shepherd Reese Road for Horizon Boulevard South, but no stop sign. I have discussed this with the engineering department, and they are in favor of the installation of a stop sign. If approved, the stop sign would be installed within the right-of-way of Shepherd Reese Road in front of the entrance of the Horizon subdivision. The public hearing was just held. At this time, I ask the Commissioners Court for their final approval regarding the installation of a stop sign at the intersection of Horizon Boulevard South, private road, and Shepherd Reese Road South, county maintained road, and this is in Precinct 1.
Is this item 122?
No.
121.
Okay.
I move for
I'm
approval.
sorry. Okay.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Blue, seconded by Commissioner Harris, for the final approval regarding the installation of a stop sign at the intersection of Horizon Boulevard South and Shepherd Reese Road South. Is there any more discussion?
Yes.
Sheriff?
The only question I have, that's an awful wide
Yes, it is.
entrance, right? Is that stop sign placement going to be where it would be obvious to people coming out of the Horizon that there's a stop sign? Or are we gonna have a hard time enforcing this stop sign because people won't notice it? That's my concern.
That was the question from the beginning of this. It's such a wide area, the placement of it. They've looked at it to decide where to put it.
Engineering, Bobby and Engineering had suggested, normally our stop signs for county roads are 30-inch, and Bobby had recommended to go with what a TxDOT sign would be at 36 to install a larger stop sign at this intersection. It still is a wide intersection, but, and I agree with him on that.
But there is the visual as you're coming out the gate from Horizon, and your line of sight is the important thing.
I guess the question I have is the same issue on the width. Where's the right of way? I mean, one of the dangerous things at that intersection is the width. Is there a way to make the Horizon, or can the county narrow that so it's not so wide?
Good.
We could. We have a room full of people here when it happens.
But they're the ones that aren't stopping and causing a problem, too.
Well, not all of them. Most of them are nice folks.
Some of them. But it's just, I mean, if you look at the picture, the big part of the problem is you can't tell where the road is.
Right. That's the hard
Yeah,
part.
I'm not real sure why that ever got approved, to be real honest with you. I don't know. I don't have the answer.
I suspect it was just left that way.
But if we can put, at the edge of the right-of-way, we can put a guardrail to narrow it, and make it a road.
That's expensive.
Yeah. Would striping
So
or
it's,
something
safety
work?
is important, but we can try this. I say we approve this, and then if it doesn't solve the problem, we revisit. How's that?
I like that, and I think we could maybe revisit it later if we feel like it's needed, maybe with just raised pavement markers.
Yeah, just something.
Something that glues down and
Yeah, that works.
shows people where the edge is.
Like one of those triangle kind of things where they can't drive on it or what?
Show
where the road is.
You bump over.
Put some landscaping rocks.
Anyway, it just, this is a step in the right direction.
Yes, yes.
Any more discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, 5-0.
Thank you.
Okay, item 1.22, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action for the Commissioners Court to set a public hearing regarding the setting of the speed limit to 35 miles per hour on Cade Loop South.
Cade Loop South has never had a posted speed limit according to our records. We place traffic counters out on Cade Loop South in 2 locations from 8/14/2020 to 8/21/2020. The counters were placed under the direction of the county engineer. One counter showed the 85th percentile of 34 miles an hour, plus the other counter showed 85th percentile of 36 miles per hour. Under the guidance of the county engineer, we feel the posted speed limit should be 35 miles per hour on Cade Loop South. At this time, I ask the Commissioners Court to set a public hearing regarding setting the posted speed limit on Cade Loop South at 35 miles per hour in Precinct 4, and that would be set for October 26, 2020 at 10 a.m.
I move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Harris, seconded by Commissioner Moser to approve setting a public hearing on October the 26th at 10 a.m. To set the speed limit on Cade Loop South at 35 miles an hour. Any other discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, 5-0.
Thank you.
Item 1.23, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action for the court to approve a concept plan for 2 acres on Nixon Lane. Charlie Hastings.
Thank you. I have a letter from Lee Vocal, working on this plat. It says, I'd like to read that. Dear Charlie, Victor Garcia owns 2 acres, a 2-acre tract along Nixon Lane. The tract has 2 existing residences which share a septic system, a common septic system that was approved and licensed years ago. Both residences are served by a community water system, Aqua Texas, and each has a separate metered tap. Mr. Garcia would like to divide the tract into 2 1-acre tracts, giving one to his son and selling the other. He understands that he will have to install new septic systems for each residence and that it will need approval from the Kerr County Environmental Health Department. He will also provide a letter from the water company stating that they are presently serving both residences. And so as we reviewed this, there's a couple things that we wanted to make sure that the court agreed with before they proceeded to try to divide this property. It is a 2-acre tract at 1505 Nixon Lane. It currently has 2 residential homes with 2 separate water connections. The concept plan proposes to divide it into 2 1-acre tracts. The maximum number of allowable residential lots will be determined using the Texas Water Development Board's model subdivision rules as it relates to water availability. The property owner is also requesting the court allow lots to have less than 150 foot of frontage on the road. The lots across the street have 100 foot of frontage. They're proposing 2 lots that would each have 122 feet of frontage. And section 7.04, access to roads of the Kerr County subdivision rules and regulations, although it requires 150 foot of frontage, it also states that minimum lot frontage distances may be reviewed by the Commissioners Court and lesser distances may be approved based on lot density, topography, and other mitigating factors recommended by the county subdivision administrator. Subdivisions within a high-density development area and where the above minimum lot frontage distances are not practical will be considered on a case-by-case basis. After reviewing this and looking at the model subdivision regulations and noting that there are 2 homes that are currently being served by Aqua Texas, they have their own separate water meters. I think that we're still going to need something in the file from the water provider that would satisfy the model subdivision regulations, but other than that, it looks like the density that they're proposing would be acceptable based on water availability, which that's what our density requirements are all about, water availability. With that being said, the county engineer requested the court consider the concept plan for the 2 acres on Nixon Lane. It's deed number 15-6676. It is precinct 1. We're looking for direction if we can move forward on this concept plan. And next step would they would just come in with a final plat.
So, will I move for approval?
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Blue, seconded by Commissioner Harris to approve a concept plan for the 2 acres on Nixon Lane as presented. Is there any other discussion?
Has environmental health looked at this at all? I'm just wondering, is there
Not yet.
ample room to put in the 2 new systems?
I think I'm not environmental health, but they're both 1 acre lots, and they're both going to have a 122 foot of frontage, and then they're pretty deep. I don't think they're going to have a problem with it. But they know that they've got to jump through that hoop. So if they can't satisfy environmental health, then it won't come back before you.
Okay. Right.
Okay, any further discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, 5-0. Item 1.24, this is a public hearing for the revision of the plat for Kerrville South 2, Tract 119. Is there anyone who would like to address the court at this public hearing? Okay, there being no one, then let's proceed to 1.25. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action for the court to approve a final plat for Center Point Christian Church addition in Center Point Precinct 2.
This plat proposes 2 lots on China Street, which is FM 1350 in Center Point, within the high-density development area of Center Point. A concept plan for this subdivision was conditionally approved by the court on August the 10th, 2020 by order number 38221. The conditions have been met. Lot 1, 1.05 acres, will be restricted to non-residential use only, and Lot 2, 1.18 acres, is residential. Road frontage for both lots will be on China Street. The condition that the court set, and I'll read it to you from order number 38221. It reads, approve a concept plan for the Center Point Christian Church addition in Precinct 2, subject to the agreement by the property owner that the common entrance in the driveway to the back lot be 45 feet wide as opposed to 30 feet, so as to increase the access point on China Street. They have satisfied that. And I think before, when they originally brought this to you as a concept plan, there were no restrictions on either lot, which means they could have been used for residential, which would invoke the model subdivision regulations. They have since placed a restriction on lot 1 that it is for non-residential use only. So you have 1 residential, 1 non. It doesn't. It is no longer subject to the model subdivision regulations.
Move for approval of the final plat.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Moser, seconded by Commissioner Baloo to approve the final plat. Mr. Turner, I believe.
Really, I don't guess I have anything. It looks like it's going to go through. I just mainly wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page. We're not looking at putting in the development. Years ago, our church purchased this property. I hate to say what we gave for it because Christians aren't supposed to steal, but it was a steal. But on that there was a house, and churches just should not be in the landlord business. It runs counter to what you need to do. So our plan was to just sell off that part. It's just a shame that that part with the house is on the back part. But this will allow us to get rid of the money pit of that rent house and to maintain a clear property behind our little church all the way to the telephone building. And sorry we had to go through all those hoops. I thought it would be easy. I understand why, but we're in good shape.
Thanks for going through the hoops. Thanks, Scott.
Okay, any more discussion? Okay, those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, 5-0. Next item on the agenda is 1.26. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding the 2021 sheriff and constable's fees to be effective immediately. note that each constable and the sheriff have all reported that they are not recommending any changes to fees, and if the court doesn't take any action, then the fees adopted in 2020 will remain in effect through 2021. But the county clerk, on behalf of Kerr County, is still responsible for reporting information to the state comptroller's office. Ms. Dowdy.
Well, if there's no changes, I don't see that the court needs to take action. I just wanted to put it on the agenda and present it.
Okay. Anybody want to do anything?
The only thing is the comptroller's office does print out the list of what all those fees are. And in the past, we had found it just cleaner if the court just adopted the same fees each year. That just made it cleaner for the list instead of going back and trying to see, was there a court order that changed, was it not?
Sure.
Just made it easier for us in the past.
I'll make a motion that we just renew the same fee schedule for the constables and sheriff that we had last year.
Second.
Any other discussion? I made the motion and Commissioner Harris seconded it. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, 5-0. Very controversial. Item 1.27, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve moving the generator currently located at the Kerr County Sheriff's Office to the courthouse. Mr. Motherall.
Good morning, gentlemen. I think each of you should have a copy of what it's going to cost to move the generator from the Sheriff's Office over to the courthouse. We're just asking for your approval.
And you mentioned the other day that you didn't receive any other bids.
I did get one, and it was double what the lowest one was.
Move for approval.
Well,
thanks for getting another bid.
Yeah. Motion made by Commissioner Moser, seconded by Commissioner Harris. By way of discussion, I found it interesting that as he went to get a competitive bid and talked with the bidding contractor that we're going to award the contract to, they actually reduced their bid. So it was a win-win all the way
Very
around.
good. Super.
Wow.
Good deal. Sometimes it works to get second bids.
Yeah. Hurry up and vote.
Even for less than 50,000.
Sheriff?
It should be noted, I think Shane did have a company come out and test that generator since it had sat for almost 3 years now. And all the tests showed that it was in good shape, that everything's still good. They changed, all the oil and all that on it. I have, I think, still $20,000 in the courthouse security improvements budget. The remainder of the funds, and there's probably still going to be other incidentals. I don't know where it's coming from.
IT.
20,000 can come from that.
We've already discussed with IT.
All right.
So
IT.
thanks to
There's
the
money
Sheriff's
for
Office
it.
and the IT department, we're moving it back a generator to the courthouse.
Where's the deal?
Shane, where's he gonna be placed exactly?
Right down here.
It's going to be set in kind of where the county auditor's parking place is.
So you are getting that new bicycle.
Oh, that's a long way from
And actually, that's where the old one, pretty close to where the old one was when we did have a generator.
And this is to maintain the courthouse in the event of power outages.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's big enough to run everything, isn't it?
Yes.
Good.
Good deal.
And we're wired for it, so this is a win-win all the way around. Okay, any other discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, 5-0. Item 1.28, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to determine the date to discontinue recycling program.
Good morning again. I got some more pictures for you.
This is a picture of a calendar. What are you showing us? This is regarding the dates.
Here's Shane up. Thank you.
Got more pictures.
So this is about the date, not the justification.
The first set of pictures was from this morning.
Oh, really? Well, we discussed this a couple different times in that, first of all, we didn't know that, we couldn't say that it was for sure, tell people for sure that everything was getting recycled. I'm sure a lot of it was, but then I know that others times it wasn't. So we said we quit it, but now we just need to kind of fend it. We never did really set a date. And so I'm suggesting that we end at the end of this month. That way it goes through the whole cycle and we start off the fiscal year without it. Now, Reagan, do you have anything to add as far as the trailer? I think we've satisfied everything for that second trailer that we needed to. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir, we have, but we have not officially been released from the grant. So I think at this point, I don't think we have to continue the program, but we can't do anything with the trailer.
Right.
Per se. But reporting is complete.
Good.
And if I recall correctly, the trailers were for this use specifically, so we wouldn't be violating the terms of the agreement by not using it. We would be violating the terms of the agreement if we used it for another purpose.
And one of them's free and clear already, but the second one was through August, sometime in August was the end of the grant period. So.
And I have asked when that's going to be done, but I just haven't gotten a response yet.
There was a change in personnel or something, I know you told me that, trying to get the correct answer was taking some time. So.
One of the things that the public can't see the pictures.
He can hold them up.
Why don't you show the pictures? Because this has been one of my concerns with this program all along, is that the recycling part of it's great, but a lot of people use it just as a garbage service, I think, or some people use it as a garbage service. And I think if you look at the number of cartons that are there, that didn't come from a household.
Right.
There's a stack, probably 3-4 feet tall, it looks like, that blew all over the Hayes Street area. And yeah, that's not the intent of this. It's the recycling part of it's good, but we're not trying to subsidize trash pickup. And that's what we are doing a lot.
You know, there's a lot of people that like to recycle, but going back to the budget now, just taking Shane's numbers here today and extrapolating, that's like $20,000 a year. You just took in August. You before estimated about 30,000. Just $30,000 that the county's paying to recycle, and assuming it's all 100% recycled, it's still $30,000. The city eliminated their portion of it, where we're putting $60,000 worth of dumpsters. So that's, you know, if you put things in perspective, that's almost $100,000 a year that the city and county were paying together for recycling, paying for that. So
without any guarantee that it's actually being recycled.
That's correct.
That's the kicker right there.
Well, I just said, assuming it's all recycled. I'll go to the extreme. Assuming it was perfectly recycled. Still, ballpark $100,000 a year, taxpayers were paying for recycling.
Yeah. And once we get word back on the grants and the trailers, we could surplus the trailers and sell them and maybe get some benefit out of them.
Figure out how to put manure in them and haul them off.
Good work.
We'll have to hire a consultant to advise.
Okay. Did you make a motion, Commissioner?
I'm probably dancing around it, but I will make a motion to continue recycling through the end of this month and then just continue it.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
Second.
A motion been made by Commissioner Harris, seconded by Commissioner Letts to discontinue recycling at the end of this month. Any more discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, 5-0. Item 1.29, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to set dates for workshop to discuss subdivision rules and regulations.
Yes, I think this is on the agenda. We talked about it briefly at our last meeting that we really need to get moving on this for a number of reasons. Jody sent out some potential dates. The date she had was, these are all in September 21st in the afternoon, 22nd in the afternoon, 23rd in the afternoon, and all day on the 24th, 29th in the afternoon, I think all day on the 30th. Out of those, the 24th is out for me. 29th and 30th are not as good. I would prefer to do it.
Well, what's Jody's talent? Because I think we all responded to her.
No, you're the only one that responded.
Oh.
Never assume. They're not everywhere.
For the public, the boss asked for the response. I was the only one that responded.
But I really was just putting them out there so you could look at your calendars and talk about it today, but you're the only one that responded.
So what are the
I don't
dates you've
remember what I
narrowed it
told you
down
now.
to you're wanting to
The
do?
24th is out.
Yeah, 21st, 22nd, 23rd in the afternoon.
Jody, when did I say I could do it?
I didn't print out the email, I'm sorry.
Oh, God. I don't know what I
Here,
said.
I'll go look.
Tuesday, Wednesdays in the afternoon, I think are good for everybody, pretty much, aren't they?
Yes.
Well, stand
Well,
by.
me and.
Well, Monday's
Go back
okay.
and
You
find
said
out.
20.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, Monday in the afternoons, you know, I know the judge says
Fine with me.
it me a little bit.
I have.
Oh, that's hard.
It'd have to be it'd be at 2 o'clock on that day.
What are the
Then,
proposed dates?
We can work around that, I mean, that's
21,
when,
22, and 23.
21, 22.
or 29 and 30.
Or 29th and 30th, they'd work.
I cannot make the 29th and the 30th, I've got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Then those are out.
Okay, so we're back to,
22nd or 23rd.
yeah,
Are we 21, 22, and 23, is that it?
Or
Yeah.
just 22.
Okay,
next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
yeah. Wednesday for me. Or is that
fine.
no? Huh?
Wednesday's fine.
Okay. Jody, we decided on Wednesday.
Wait.
At 2?
Wait, stand by.
Wait a minute.
Stand by.
Does it have to be in the afternoon?
No, yeah, it has to be in the afternoon for me because I've got two things that morning. Wednesday afternoon's okay.
Okay, Wednesday
Okay.
afternoon,
So we,
After lunch?
Yeah,
1 o'clock,
1 o'clock
2 o'clock,
or
whatever you want to do.
1 o'clock,
I'd rather 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Okay,
Then you
1
get to
o'clock. We'll set a workshop for the subdivision rules and regulations for next Wednesday, the 23rd at 1 PM.
And depending how that one goes, we would set a second one, which I think we'll probably need a second one, and then we'll,
Well, then since that's the last of the 3 days available to everybody, should we do it then on Tuesday so that we can come back
No.
on Wednesday?
no, I wouldn't kneel back to back. I think we probably, we could.
Well, I don't know why not. It would be fresh in your mind.
Yeah, you
I'd
could.
prefer to do it 2 days running unless you can, Tom.
I've got a conflict on Tuesday.
Monday and Wednesday.
The closer together they are, the more likely we'll all remember everything. and
We're gonna be here
notes.
Monday anyway.
Yeah.
Monday's okay for me.
Okay.
Is that okay with the judge?
We wouldn't be able to set it at 1 just in case of any juvenile detentions. but
Do it
maybe
2.
2.
1 o'clock at 2, and 23rd at 1.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to do Tuesday at 2, the 22nd, and Wednesday at
No,
1.
not Tuesday.
Monday,
21st.
Monday.
Monday, okay,
Monday
Monday.
the 21st.
2.
Monday at
2.
2, and Wednesday at 1. Okay,
And I'll get with Charlie, we'll divide it up, and, what would the court like in advance? That's a full set of the proposed rules, or?
Well, we have the
draft.
changes, the draft with all of the highlighted in red and all that. Do we
You
need,
have those, and
Should
what
we-
I've got that is probably gonna be the best thing for you is a checklist. We've been putting a checklist together ever since those rules.
Okay.
We gave them to y'all in red, and the checklist is in, there's 2 checklists. There's one that's the actual words down, and that's really long. The other one's short. I shortened it to each rule,
Sure.
just 1 sentence, in layman's terms.
Yeah.
that's what I want.
that's the one for me.
Yeah. No kidding.
Okay, so we've taken our action on that. Let's move on to the approval agenda. 2.1, pay the bills.
Invoices for today's consideration for Kerr County, $240,222.44. The airport, $6,739.57. For the fiscal year 2021, for adult probation, $4,767.95. For adult probation for the fiscal year 1920, $975.38. For juvenile probation for the fiscal year 1920, $4,560. District clerk fees, $2,856.33. County clerk fees, $84. And 198th DA forfeiture funds, $129.91.
Move we pay the bills as presented by the auditor.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Moser, seconded by Commissioner Blue to pay the bills as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, 5-0. 2.2, budget amendments.
Yes, we have 4 today. One for the county clerk, 216th District Court, Sheriff, and Road and Bridge. These are all line item transfers in their department.
I move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Harris, seconded by Commissioner Blue to approve the budget amendments as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. 2.3, late bills.
There are not any.
2.4, auditor reports.
There are not any.
Thank you. 2.5, accept monthly reports.
Yes, July 2020 standard monthly report from Constable Precinct 3 Ken Wilkie. August 2020 standard monthly reports from Constable Precinct 1 Tommy Rodriguez, Constable Precinct 2 Kyle Snyder, Constable Precinct 4 Gene Huffaker. Indigent Service report, HR Director Jennifer Goss. Fines, judgment, and jury fees collected, JP1 Mitzi French, JP2 JR Hone, JP3 Kathy Mitchell, District Clerk Dawn Lance, and payroll approval report, month ending August 2020, County Treasurer Tracy Soldan. I move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Harris, seconded by Commissioner Letts to approve the monthly reports as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, 5-0. Court orders.
Yes, we have the court orders from our special session on the 8th of September. Court orders 38288 through 38303. Move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Letts, seconded by Commissioner Harris to approve the court orders as presented. Discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, 5-0. Information agenda, 3.1, status reports from department heads. Do we have any? 3.2, status reports from elected officials. 3.3, status reports from liaison commissioners.
One thing, economic development, I think it's been the public that Moon International has new management, and they've got big plans, and it's articles written in publications nationally, what they're doing, and that's all real good. Killdeer mountain manufacturing, things are progressing on that. All the deals have not been signed with the state on the funding for that and the grants that they will receive, or the funds that they'll receive, but it's moving ahead in a positive way. And there's a not-for-public information, there's other interests in the airport for even another business, so to be discussed later. So all things look good out there economically.
I believe Killdeer will have their request to the county on our 29th agenda.
Right.
So they're trying to get things lined up before they come.
Okay.
And other report I have is that the Animal Services Committee will meet this Friday at 1 after a long absence due to COVID. So that'll be going on. A lot of events this weekend at the Hiffman View Event Center. Quite a bit going on, and all went well.
Good.
I made a call to Michael Haynes with Extension last week, and just trying to get an update where they're at as far as their hiring freeze. And he said, cross your fingers, I'm hoping for maybe a glimmer of light in November. I don't know if that's because of the elections then or what, but that's the way I took it. But
It's a hiring freeze for who?
County Extension Agent. We
Roy.
haven't replaced Roy as of yet. Another thing that maintenance Shane and I have been talking about is maybe getting to some painting here in the building and what have you. And thought it might be a good idea to maybe just get 2 or 3 basic colors to choose from so that everybody doesn't choose different stuff.
What's it for?
Painting. I mean, some of these places, some of these areas haven't been painted.
So you're talking about changing colors?
Well, or just neutral colors or something. We just thought that some might want
keep it
get
pretty,
fancy.
pretty
Keep
basic.
it basic.
Keep it pretty basic.
Why don't you do what you have and just paint over it, then there's not.
Well, that'd be fine with me.
Yeah.
But,
No pinks, purples, or turquoise, right?
well, that's kind of what we were thinking.
And no maroon.
But most of the courthouse hasn't been, well, the courthouse has not been repainted since it was renovated. There's a whole another
Well,
lot.
that's a long
You're gonna repaint the color you have, and there's not controversial.
As a guy who's going through this at home,
I
you need
do.
one choice, not more than one choice. You repaint the color you have. That's all.
Bingo.
I guess what I would add by way of status reports, want to acknowledge the passing of Spencer Brown, our former county court law judge. We haven't had a chance to acknowledge this in open court. It was quite a legend for those people that didn't know Spencer and his family. And I tell you, his mother was a legend. I still remember the stories about Lydia Brown.
That's the acorn not falling far from the tree.
Absolutely. And he had a good visitation service over at Grimes last Friday that was very well attended. But a real loss for Kerr County. Also wanted to report that the CIP, the Capital Improvement Planning Committee, meets this Wednesday, and they're actively looking at animal control and the West Kerr County Annex. Those are the kind of hot issues that they're working on right now. Commissioner Harris and I met last week with the landlord at the building that we have rented for the West Kerr County Annex, and they're proposing a modification of the lease to make it a triple net lease where we pay all the maintenance, upkeep, insurance, taxes, and we have to pay taxes if we rent it. We have to even pay our own taxes. And it would, on the basis of what they paid this past year, they estimated it would be, well, I think a little over $300 a month increase.
We're paying $1,500 a month now, and it would bump it up to about $1,800 a month.
A little over that. I think about $311 and some odd cents, he said, based on it. Just offer that by way of information. That's what we're working on. And still looking at possible location to be able to build Kerr County Courthouse Annex in Ingram.
And I might add that they did throw out some possibilities of their property there.
But that lease expires at the end of this month, so we're running out of options.
It's good timing, though. I mean, it's pretty good.
But that's all I have to report. I don't believe we have anything for executive session, do we? Okay. So there being no other business before the court, we are adjourned.